This lab is configuring the Syslog and NTP. So first thing, you have to start with configure with your router. We are using 1941 router. Do remember to add in the WIC-2T for the serial interface. After that, you join them accordingly using the serial cable and your crossover cable between your router and your PC. Okay, after that, you start to change your router name, okay, display name to R1 and R2 accordingly. Then you go into your R1, you change your basic setting configurations of each router 1 and 2, disable DNS lookout, configure your host name, encryption plain text password, which is your service password encryption command. Then now you create your banner MOTD, okay, for unauthorized access prohibited. Then you continue to assign the class as the encryption privilege execution mode, okay, which is your enable secret class. Then you also assign the password syscall for your line cone 0 and also your VTY 0 to 4 or 0 to 15, depend on whether you want 0 to 4 or 15, doesn't matter. Okay, and also you also apply the set the console logging synchronous mode. Then you assign the IP for the serial interface S0/0/0, and also remember to put in the clock rate, okay, for the serial interface S0/0/0 in your R1. Do remember to no shut the interface also. Do the same basic configurations as what you did on the R1. Do the same thing on your R2. And also the interface for the gigabit interface for your R2 172.16.2.1 for your gigabit port interface. Add in the IP address, okay, for your PC, subnet mask, and also your default gateway for your PCB. I forgot to change the display name for your PCB. Do remember to change it. You can do a ping test between your R2 and PC, see whether that is successful or not. Once it's okay, then you trying to do a OSPF configurations for your router 1 and router 2. Okay, for router 1, you only have S0/0/0, that interface to configure in your OSPF. Then for your router 2, you have two interface that you need to configure for serial and gigabit port. Okay, now this lab I'm using the quad 0 method. Okay, both are in the area 0. After configure, you should be able to ping between your R1, R2, okay, to your PC, no problem. Okay, all should be able to ping through. Do remember to save it configurations. Now you can start to configure your NTP. So basically you have to configure one NTP server and one NTP client. So for your R1, there will be your NTP server, and then R2 will be your NTP client. You just go into your R1, okay, then you just show clock. Do record down what is the clock, time and date, okay, and time zone, whatever, everything. Then record inside your Word document. Then you set your code rate to the current code rate. Now the timing and the date for today. You can do a show clock to check whether you have done it or not. After that, I make my R1 become the NTP master. So I put the command NTP master 5 in my configuration terminal. Then I go into my R2, I show the clock. Then I will see that the clock is actually not the current timing. Do record down in your Word document also. Then you put in the command NTP server 10.1.1.1. Then you put the NTP update calendar. After that, you can show NTP association, see whether that is done or not, okay, whether they are associated with your NTP server or not. Then after that, you show clock. Wait for a while, okay, because they need time, few minutes to run it, okay, to synchronizations. So after a while, you should be able to see that it's the same clock timing with your NTP server. Now we configure Syslog. We are required to take out one server. Then you need to configure IP for the server. You join the server to your R2 in the gigabit port 0/1. This is not stated in your Word document. You have to change it your own self. Then you put in the IP address for your server 172.16.1.1, and then subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Gateway is 172.16.1.254. This will be your router interface or G0/1 IP. So I go into my router, I change it 172.16.1.254 with 255.255.255.0, and then I turn on the interface. Before that, do remember to go to your R2, put in the router OSPF 1 for your network that is your server 172.16.1.254. You put 4 quad 0 method, 40 area 0. Then after that, you try to ping, see whether can get through or not. That should be successful. Then you start to do your syslog. Go into your server, go to service, then you click syslog. By default, there is nothing inside. Then you can go to your R2, you type in show run include timestamp, this command. As you can see that there is no service timestamp, so you need to enable it by using the command service timestamp log date, time, millisecond. Then now you need to configure R2 to log the message for the syslog server. You go into your R2, you put login host, but the host is 172.16.1.1 not 2.3 because I'm changing the server, okay, into 16.1.1. Then you should be able to see the track login level information is inside. Then you go to your server, you click service, syslog, you should see something message that been pop up into your syslog. Remember to record down your IP address for your syslog server and also what is the protocol they are using in your syslog server. As you can see that actually you can configure and observe the effects of the login severity level based on 0 to 7 as you can see, but I think my packet tracer, they are only able to see the debugging level. Not all the level can see. Only a severity of level 7 debugging message are able to see. I think have something wrong with my packet tracer. I'm not sure about you. You can try it out later by your own self. Then I try to use the logging trap debugging for my interface loopback 0. And then you can see that the interface for the loopback 0 stage has been changed up. Then actually you can go to your server, syslog. Actually you can see that the message has been popping out from the trap. Then now you remove the interface loopback 0. Then you go into your syslog server, you can see that the loopback interface stage has been changed down.